And FBI Director Kash Patel is about to face some tough questions when he testifies this week on Capitol Hill after some mistakes in his handling of Charlie Kirk's assassination investigation. Conservative activist Chris Rufo posted this. It's time for Republicans to assess whether Patel is the right man to run the FBI, adding that he performed terribly in the last few days. So Patel prematurely announced the suspect was in custody. He also appeared to take credit for the FBI's release of images that ultimately led to the suspect's arrest. Here's how Utah Governor Spencer Cox sees it.
This was a co-lead operation. So the FBI was co-lead with the state. We worked very closely together. I think Director Patel would tell you it was flawless. It was everybody just trying to decide, is this a good idea? The reasons to release it, I think, are pretty obvious, right? It makes it easier for lots of people to see it and maybe find someone.
Group chat is back. I wanted to bring this up because these questions were sort of coming from inside the House, so to speak, and we were pointing out Rufo's tweet in particular because it was not just some flyby post of like, this guy is bad. It was a long explanation of why he thinks people should assess this.
The courtroom is electric. Right now, every eye is on Kash Patel, the man handpicked to shield the powerful, now teetering on the edge. Papers shuffle, phones flash, murmurs ripple through the halls. This is not a rehearsal. Outside, the press swarm like predators. Helicopters hum overhead. Sirens echo in the distance. Inside, Patel sits frozen, invoking the fifth again and again, the judge's gaze cutting through his composure. Every move, every word, feels like a countdown to disaster. This was supposed to be his shield, his protection, but the court signals something else. The barrier crumbles. Panic rises. And in this instant, the stakes couldn't be higher. One misstep, one revelation, and everything changes.
It's a very preemptive social media post that made the FBI look very disorganized. I also just caught recently he screenshotted something from Fox News citing FBI sources. In a very professional situation, you yourself as the FBI don't need to cite a news organization citing sources from within your bureau.
Right.
You just say something yourself.
This issue of like, as he's come in, he's brought the talents that the administration has appreciated, right? The loyalty, the ability to communicate. But has he done things within the ranks that actually are creating real problems for investigations?
Yeah, and like one of the things that we see in other investigations about other things in past administrations.
The city doesn't know it yet, but history is unraveling in real time. In a grand, echoing courtroom, the air feels electric, almost like it could spark. Cameras click relentlessly. Microphones pick up every shuffled paper, every whispered order. And there, at the center, sits Kash Patel, once untouchable, now a man on the edge. His fingers twitch, eyes darting, trying to appear calm, but the tremor in his hands betrays the panic that's slowly rising. Every heartbeat feels amplified, every second a countdown to disaster. Outside, the chaos mirrors the tension within. Helicopters circle like hawks, sirens blaring in the distance, federal marshals moving swiftly, their presence both a warning and a threat. Roadblocks cage the streets around the courthouse, a maze designed to contain not just the suspects, but the storm about to break. Reporters jostle for position, their phones alive with live feeds, social media exploding with breaking news. The FBI director, Trump's shield, the man trusted to protect the powerful, is now facing his own peril. Inside, Patel sits frozen as the judge slides a stack of documents across the bench. The papers glint under the harsh lights, each sheet a possible avalanche of revelations. Senators and attorneys lean in, voices low but sharp, their questions cutting through the tension like knives. Patel invokes the fifth again, yet the judge's eyes tell a story of impatience and simmering frustration. The room feels smaller, heavier, as if the walls themselves are pressing in, reminding him that no position of power grants immunity here. Every move Patel makes is scrutinized, every glance analyzed. Recordings circulate quietly among the senators, audio tapes that could dismantle his carefully constructed narrative. His past orders, his involvement in secret operations, the mishandling of high-profile investigations, all of it now threatens to explode into public view. Outside, Trump's aides hover over secure lines, frantic, watching drone feeds, issuing last-minute instructions that might already be too late. The shield is cracking. And then it happens. A murmur rises in the courtroom. The judge leans forward, voice steady but unmistakable. A signal that the consequences are no longer theoretical. For Patel, the message is clear. Keep obstructing, keep hiding, and the next step isn't just contempt, It's arrest. Panic flickers across his face, but he forces a mask of composure. Around him, whispers spread like wildfire. The witnesses shift uncomfortably in their seats, aware that this moment could change everything. A clock ticks. Seconds stretch into eternity. Outside, the helicopters hum closer. The sirens grow louder. The protective firewall around Trump's operations is faltering. And if Patel falls, the dominoes start to tip. And in that heartbeat, Patel makes a subtle move. A decision that no one sees but will ripple through every investigation, every courtroom, every secret meeting waiting to be exposed. The gavel rises, pauses midair, cameras flash, and the world waits. What happens next could shatter everything. Courtroom feels like it's closing in, every second stretching longer than the last. Patel's breathing is shallow now, almost imperceptible beneath the constant hum of cameras and whispered conversations. Outside, the city is alive with a storm of rumors, alerts pinging across phones, helicopters slicing through the low winter sky. The press calls it breaking news. For Patel, it's a countdown. Every official in the room knows the stakes. This isn't about procedure anymore. This is about survival, about who controls the truth when the walls are crumbling. Senators lean forward, their eyes sharp, their voices steady but cutting. Questions that once could be deflected now land with surgical precision. Execution warrants, secret communications, misuse of FBI resources, all under scrutiny. Every answer Patel gives seems to trap him further, contradicting his past statements. Whispers of perjury float in the air like smoke from a distant fire. One slip, one misworded answer, and the consequences aren't just political, they're criminal. Outside, Trump watches the drone feeds from Mar-a-Lago, phone pressed to his ear, voice clipped, urgent. Orders are issued, aides scramble, yet the chain of control feels fragile, stretched too thin. He knows that if Patel falters, the protective wall around him will collapse. Every record, every suppressed file, every illegal maneuver carefully hidden in the past could now resurface. The Venezuelan tanker operation, the Epstein files, the bribery schemes, all threads that could unravel a carefully stitched shield. Patel shifts in his seat, a subtle twitch that doesn't go unnoticed. He knows the judge is watching, waiting for the slightest abuse of his Fifth Amendment claims. The room grows tense. A bead of sweat runs down his temple. Federal attorneys whisper, scribble notes, phone calls ping quietly but urgently under the bench. The sound of a gavel tapping is almost drowned out by the collective heartbeat of everyone in that room. Judges, senators, reporters, even security personnel, all sensing that the calm veneer is about to crack. And then, a sudden alert. The courtroom doors swing open and an unexpected figure steps in, a whistleblower whose presence alone sends a ripple through the room. Patel's composure falters for the first time, just for a heartbeat, but that slip is enough. Questions he thought he could dodge suddenly feel like knives pressing against every decision he's ever made. The whispers grow louder, evidence of concealed communications, direct orders from the White House, and recordings of his interventions to block investigations are now on the table. Patel realizes, maybe too late, that the protective wall he relied on isn't just cracked, it's collapsing. Every ally he counted on outside is frozen, scrambling, reacting to the storm that's gaining momentum faster than anyone anticipated. And in that room, under the harsh lights and the unblinking eyes of federal officials, the first hints of a potential arrest ripple like shockwaves through the proceedings. Cameras flash, microphones pick up a tremor in his voice, and the courtroom collectively senses that this isn't just testimony anymore. This is the moment where loyalty, power, and fear collide. A sudden commotion outside the doors interrupts the tense questioning. A crowd gathering, murmuring, sirens wailing. The line between public spectacle and legal procedure blurs, and in that heartbeat, Patel makes a choice. One move, subtle but decisive, that could either buy him a moment of safety or accelerate the downfall that's been building for months. The gavel is raised again, but this time it pauses as a new revelation is about to be unveiled. A recording, previously unheard, that could upend everything, and just like that, the room holds its breath. What Patel does next will determine not just his fate, but the unraveling of a shield built to protect the most powerful man in America. The moment teeters on the edge of chaos, and then the recording starts to play. The courtroom is silent. Even the helicopters outside seem to pause as the first notes of the recording cut through the air, clear, damning, undeniable. Patel's eyes widen as the voice on the tape confirms everything whispered in dark corridors and hinted at in closed-door meetings. Orders to block investigations, instructions to suppress critical evidence, direct intervention to protect Trump. Every carefully constructed layer of his protection begins to crumble with each word. Whispers turn into audible gasps. Senators lean forward, pens poised, scribbling notes that could shape history. Federal agents exchange glances, the tension palpable, knowing that a single misstep in the next few minutes could change careers, reputations, and perhaps even lives. Patel shifts in his chair, trying to maintain composure, but the tremor in his hands betrays him. Every second is a countdown. Every blink risks revealing a fraction of panic too large to conceal. Outside, the crowd grows restless. News crews broadcast live. The words, "Breaking, FBI Director faces arrest," flashing across screens in bold letters. Mar-a-Lago is alive with alarms and frantic aides. Trump's face, usually so controlled, now shows the first signs of real panic. The shield he relied on, Patel, was cracking under the pressure of truth, and the floodgates were about to open. The judge leans in, voice low but cutting. "Director Patel, these recordings indicate direct obstruction of justice. Your invocation of the Fifth Amendment may no longer protect you." A hush falls. Patel knows this is the turning point. One wrong word, one misstep, and the law may descend like a hammer he can no longer deflect. The room seems to hold its breath, the weight of national security, history, and accountability pressing down in unison. Patel's mind races. Should he maintain silence and risk contempt and arrest, or cooperate to save himself, knowing that any cooperation could ignite a political firestorm for Trump? Outside, sirens wail, doors lock, and the federal marshals subtly reposition, signaling that this is no longer a procedural moment. It's a high-stakes standoff in real time. Every camera, every microphone, every social media feed is watching. The world waits. And then, a sudden twist. A document, previously overlooked, is handed to the judge. It contains proof of illegal asset seizures, unauthorized communications with foreign officials, and instructions that directly link Patel to criminal activity designed to shield Trump. The courtroom erupts into whispers, shuffles, and murmurs of disbelief. Patel swallows hard. For the first time, he realizes that his shield isn't just cracking, it's gone. He glances toward the gallery, searching for allies, for even a hint of a reprieve, but sees only anticipation, curiosity, and the grim knowledge that the next moments will define not only his fate, but the unraveling of Trump's protective network. The gavel hovers, ready to strike, and in that heartbeat, Patel makes a subtle, near-imperceptible movement. A hand gesture, a nod, a decision that might determine whether he will fight, flee, or fold under the weight of impending federal custody. The camera pans, the tension rises, and the recording continues, revealing a name, a connection, a plot twist no one in the courtroom expected. And then, silence. The room collectively holds its breath, knowing that what comes next will shock the nation, reshape alliances, and could even rewrite history. The courtroom is a pressure cooker, every second crackling with tension. The recording continues, each word like a hammer striking Patel's carefully built defenses. Names, operations, hidden communications, everything meant to remain secret is now exposed in real time. Patel's composure is gone, his shoulders slump, his eyes dart wildly, every instinct screaming that the net is closing. Federal marshals shift subtly, a silent signal that the next step could be immediate arrest. Trump watches from Mar-a-Lago, face pale under the glow of screens, aides flanking him, murmuring updates too fast to follow. The protective firewall he counted on, Patel, has collapsed, leaving him vulnerable, exposed, and angry. Every misstep, every hidden order, every suppressed file is now a weapon in the hands of investigators. The city outside seems to mirror the chaos within. Helicopters slice through the sky, crowds surge around barricades, sirens wail, and the media frenzy reaches a fever pitch. Inside, the judge's gavel strikes. "Director Patel," the voice booms, "you are hereby subject to arrest for contempt if you continue to obstruct justice." The words land like a thunderclap. Patel freezes, the magnitude of the moment washing over him. This isn't theory anymore. This is reality. He's no longer the shield, he's the target, and everyone in the room knows it. Whispers rise to shouts as the evidence on the table paints a damning portrait. Suppressed files, illegal operations, bribery, obstruction, cover-ups. The recordings, documents, and witnesses converge into an inescapable net of accountability. Federal attorneys confer quickly, senators lean forward in disbelief, reporters scribble furiously, and the audience online watches every reaction unfold in real time. The entire nation feels the tension as though it's unfolding in their own living room. Patel glances at the gallery, his last vestiges of confidence gone. The choice is stark: fight and face the consequences, or cooperate and hope to save himself. But in doing so, he would ignite a firestorm that could engulf Trump, allies, and the entire political landscape. His pulse races, seconds stretch, outside, sirens crescendo. Helicopter blades chop the air like knives. Every element, inside and out, signals that history is in motion. And then, in a move no one anticipated, Patel speaks. His words, measured but laced with desperation, hint at a revelation that could topple power, shake the FBI to its core, and expose secrets long buried. The room freezes, senators and agents alike hanging on every syllable. The gavel is raised again, poised to strike, but this time the drama is almost unbearable. A hush falls. Even the city outside seems to pause, as if sensing the weight of what's about to happen. The first marshal steps forward, hand on Patel's shoulder. A flash of cameras, a murmur ripples through the gallery, and then, just as Patel is about to be led away, a phone buzzes. An encrypted message that could change everything. A single piece of evidence that no one yet knows about, capable of rewriting the narrative in an instant. The scene freezes for a heartbeat. Helicopters, sirens, whispers, and flashing cameras collide in a symphony of chaos. The nation watches, waiting, hearts pounding. What Patel reveals next, what actions he takes in the coming moments, could alter the course of history, expose a conspiracy that reaches the highest office, and determine who survives and who doesn't. The gavel comes down, and the world holds its breath.